All right, YouTubers. I've had issues with the steering on my Kia Optima since I bought it. And instead of spending over $1,000 to have it repaired by the dealership, I dissected a used one and have now resolved the problem. And I will show you a very quick way of how I did it. And I take no responsibility whatsoever if anything goes wrong with your steering. However, I haven't had any problem with mine. All right, here we go. All right, so this is a 2013 Kia Optima, and it seems like there's an issue with the steering where it would be really stiff going one way and then the other, and you're always fighting it on the road. So instead of taking it to the dealership, I fixed the problem myself. Okay, now we're underneath where the steering column is. There's my gas pedal, here's my brake. Follow the brake up and then back towards the steering column. You're going to see this bolt here. It's a 14mm bolt. All right, you're going to need to take that out. However, there is a bracket up here that's preventing it from backing out all the way. So what I did is I took my Dremel and I cut a notch in this bracket here, just enough clearance to get that bolt to come out enough. Once you get the bolt clear all the way over here, all right, oops, the bolt is clear from here, you'll want to work this portion of it down to reveal a secret screw that has a tensioner spring on it that will release the tension, and you will be able to steer your car smoothly instead of having to drive it. And we'll go back in the house and I'm going to show you my used steering column to give you a better example. So now I'm inside. This is the used steering column I purchased off eBay, which I found that it was doing the same thing with the steering. Now I did replace the coupler in my car. That did not solve the problem. So where I was pointing out under the column was this bolt here. Okay, there's a bracket that I was saying that you need to notch out right in here, and I used a Dremel to be able to back that out. Now if you want to take the extra time and you don't want to cut into that, there's two bolts right here that take the bracket off, and obviously I've had it off here. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Now you'll be able to remove this bolt from underneath the steering column in your car. Okay, so there, it doesn't have to come out all the way. Now I'm going to turn this around. So now right in here is where you're going to find that hex bolt, but it's hidden right here behind this bracket. So you're going to have to maneuver the steering column down and out of the way so you can get to it. And it just took a little bit of wiggling and it will come out just enough to where you can get that hex, number 5 hex in there. So we're back inside now, and the tools you're going to need are a 14mm. I used a ratchet on mine, but you can use whatever, 14mm. And also you're going to want to use a number 5 hex bit socket. This socket is going to be the one that's going to release the tension on that spring. Okay, as I was saying, if you wiggle this enough right here, you can have access to this piece right in here. Okay, that's where your bit's going to go. Okay, and as you back it out, turn it counterclockwise, it's going to release the tension on that spring inside, And you can just feel it with the steering wheel. Just turn it by hand till it feels right. I wouldn't back it all the way out, but to where it's not grabbing. So it's nice and smooth. And that's it. Put that back in there. Work your bolt back in the steering column. Screw it back together. And you should be good to go. For anybody that doesn't want to cut a notch out to get that bolt out of the way, I imagine you could probably take your Dremel and cut out a small section right in here to get access to that screw, that set screw that has the spring on the other side. I don't know. Tell me what you think.